Ya, benar.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, Bapak Ibu sekalian. Welcome to the webinar of Faculty of Letters today with me, Nina Febri Novitasari, as your MC. And together with us today, Bapak Muhammad Yusuf Ibrahim, the Vice Rector of Universitas Abdurrahman Saleh Situbondo. And then we also have Bapak Ahmad Yusuf Firdaus, the Dean of the Faculty of Letters, Universitas Abdurrahman Saleh Situbondo, and also Mbak Pipit Andriani, our guest speaker today from Surabaya Intercultural School. Okay, Bapak Ibu, this is the agenda for today's webinar. First is welcome speech, and then we have the presentation from the guest speaker, and followed by the question and answer session, and the last one is closing. Okay, Bapak Ibu, before we start our webinar, let's start this morning by reciting prayer. Thank you. And then next we have a welcome speech from the Vice Rector of Universitas Abdurrahman Saleh Situbondo, Bapak Ibu, Bapak Muhammad Yusuf Ibrahim. Time is yours.
Thank you, Miss. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Selamat pagi, Bapak dan Ibu semua. Alhamdulillah wa syukurillah la haula wala quwata illa billah. Hari ini hari yang sangat luar biasa sekali. Hari libur, tetapi teman-teman masih menyempatkan diri untuk tetap belajar gitu ya. Saya ucapkan selamat datang kepada seluruh peserta webinar ini, dan saya juga mengucapkan terima kasih kepada Mbak Pipit Aldriani yang telah meluangkan waktu untuk memberikan ilmunya kepada kami semua. Kemudian saya ucapkan ini hal yang luar biasa kepada Fakultas Sastra. Sudah beberapa kali ya, mungkin ini yang kelima ya. Webinar yang kelima. Oh, yang keenam ya. Webinar yang keenam. Oh, luar biasa ya. Semoga ini juga menjadi stimulus bagi teman-teman yang lainnya. Bapak Ibu yang berbahagia, di sini saya ingin menyampaikan materi ini sangat menarik sekali. Materi webinar kali ini mengingat saya teringat kata dari Protagoras. Nah, Protagoras itu pernah menyampaikan sebuah quote ya yang ditulis oleh Platon di buku Politeia, Republik. Dia menyampaikan, "Don't worry about maths, science, and history. Just make sure you good mark at rhetoric." Jadi kalau misalnya dengan zaman kita saat ini, si Protagoras itu sangat masih make sense. Artinya nggak usah khawatir nggak tahu tentang matematika, sejarah, dan ilmu pengetahuan, karena kesuksesan seseorang saat ini ditentukan oleh kemampuannya berkata-kata. Nah, ini quote yang luar biasa sekali dari Protagoras. Kemudian di situ keilmuan saya dari hukum, kemudian di ilmu hukum ini kan ada fiksi. Jadi sangat ditekankan sekali fiksi hukum. Artinya yang ada itu bisa tidak ada, yang tidak ada juga bisa ada. Nah, kata ini karena realita itu kautik, maka dibutuhkan kata untuk memfikkan realita. Dibutuhkan opini untuk memfikkan realita. Nah, nantinya semoga materi-materi ini bisa membuat kita lebih baik lagi untuk berbicara, utamanya berbicara di depan publik. Tetapi dalam artian berbicara pedagog, bukan demagog. Harapannya itu. Memang pintar berbicara, nanti yang ditakutkan kan menjadi demagog atau penghasut. Gitu. Tapi bukan seperti itu yang diinginkan, tapi kita bisa memberikan sharing-sharing ilmu-ilmu yang telah kita dapatkan kepada halayak lainnya. Demikian Bapak Ibu yang bisa saya sampaikan. Enjoy this webinar. Selamat belajar. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
Okay, thank you for the welcome speech, Pak Yusuf. Okay, Bapak Ibu, some of us may have been wondering why when we do public speaking, we may feel nervous, but some others may feel okay with that. So that's why we have our webinar today. The speaker, Mbak Pipit, will share with us about how to get rid of glossophobia, the feeling of nervousness when we have public speaking, and some advantages of having skills in public speaking. But before that, let me read you the short curriculum vitae of the moderator today that will moderate the question and answer session today. He is Bapak Ahmad Yusuf Firdaus, and he got his BA in English Literature from Universitas Negeri Surabaya in 2012, and he got his MA in Translation Studies from Universitas 11 Maret. Okay, and Pak Yusuf has been working at Universitas Abdurrahman Saleh Situbondo since 2013, and he is now the Dean of Faculty of Letters Universitas Abdurrahman Saleh Situbondo. Okay, Bapak Ibu, to shorten the time, we'll hand over the next session, that is presentation time, to our moderator, Bapak Ahmad Yusuf Firdaus. That's all from me as your MC. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Guys, can you hear me?
Louder, Pak Yusuf.
Can you hear
Can
me?
louder.
Okay, can you hear me? Guys, hello.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Good morning, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our today's seminar. Mbak Bipit, welcome to our seminar. Okay. Mbak Bipit, on behalf of the Faculty of Letters, I'd like to say thank you for participating as the speaker for our today's seminar. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe that being able to communicate effectively is perhaps the most important skill in our life. It is actually what enables us to pass information to other people and to understand what is said to us by other people. But ladies and gentlemen, we know that not all people can communicate effectively. Yes, they can communicate, but can they communicate effectively? Yes, some of them still cannot, in my opinion. All people have ideas, but not all people can communicate their ideas very well. Whereas, ladies and gentlemen, we know that the way a message is delivered is often more important than the message itself. or at least if we refer to, I remember a quote by Chris Cole, uh, a message, how we deliver a message is as important as the message itself. But we also know sometimes some people say that the way a message is delivered is often more important than the message itself. While the message is clearly very important, it is also important for the person who delivers the message to deliver it effectively in order to have the desired effect. Because when the whole effect of a message may be lost if the message is delivered in appropriate way. Ladies and gentlemen, what we are going to learn today is how to deliver a message. Not on maybe in different modes, yeah, maybe in speaking and then in writing and yeah, in at least in those two modes of communication. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, let me read the curriculum vitae of our today's speaker, Mbak Pipit Andriani. I think I should start the share screen. uh, okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Mbak Pipit Andriani, uh, and then she is an Indonesian, and then born in Banyuwangi, February 21st, 1985. She now lives in Pondok Menganti Indah, Block D18 Menganti Gresik, and this is her phone number. And she graduated from State University of Malang, majoring in English education. And then she also graduated from State University of Malang, majoring in English linguistics and literature, and then named the best graduate for double degree program. And he was named the best graduate for double degree program. And then, uh, in addition to in addition to that, Mbak Pipit also graduated from Hang Tuah University, uh, majoring in international law. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about some of the her experiences, uh, teaching and coaching experience. 2 years at the Embassy School of the Republic of Indonesia and International School of the Hague in the Netherlands, and then 3 years at Medan International School, Indonesia. 7 years ongoing in Surabaya International School. Is it international or intercultural? Yeah.
Now
Okay.
intercultural, yes.
Intercultural school. Yeah. 7 years at Surabaya Intercultural School, and then 1 year teaching Indonesian language to a French community, a German community, and Russian community in Surabaya with Communicate London. And then she's been coaching debate for 11 years for international tournaments in Seoul, Beijing, Taiwan, Shanghai, Melbourne, and other countries. Also, he has been coaching a global issues network for conferences in Shanghai, Hong Kong, and Hawaii, USA. Coaching public speaking and leaderships in Toastmaster International for 10 years for events in Brunei, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. Moderating to book clubs in English, book brewer, and book pulse. And then the teacher training, uh, strategies in instruction 2011 in Medan, and then inquiry teaching learning 2011 in Medan, introduction to CIE or Cambridge International Examination 2012 in Jakarta, and then the enthusiastic training 2013 in Medan, assessment in education 2013 in Surabaya, and then classroom management 2013 in Surabaya, and then effective strategies in 21st century classroom 2014 in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, and then Connected Learners 2014 in Singapore, and then Integrating Cultural Understanding into Curriculum 2014 in Beijing, China, and then Emerging Trends and Technology in Virtual K-12 Classroom 2014, online offered by University of California, Irvine. And then Integrating International Standards within a Local Context 2014, Surabaya. Ensuring Assessment Quality 2015 in Beijing, China. And then Brain-Based Learning in the Modern School, and so on. Wow, it's very long, and yeah, I think wow, you're amazing, the Pipit. Okay, I'll read them all. And
I think
then
that was
different.
probably no need because it's so long. I didn't know it was going to be read, all of them.
Yeah. It's very long. So the point is, she has traveled all over the world just to learn and teach. And then is now an honor. We have got the honor because you are now able to share with us the experiences that you have got so far, that you have got from some countries. Okay, Mbak Bipit, I think you can start the presentation from now. Thank you. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I'd like to share the screen, please.
Okay.
Okay. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
How are you today?
Fine.
Fine. Okay. First of all, I'm really sorry. I sent out my general CV. I didn't know it was going to be read. So if I knew it was going to be read, I would make it 3 sentences. All right. So apology for that. But thank you for reading that, Mr. Firdaus. Oh, sorry. Mr. Firdaus is my husband, Mr. Yusuf. All right. So today we will talk about how to expand your influence through public speaking. And then the first question that I would like to ask you is, why are you here today? Right? So a lot of options that you have on a Saturday morning. A lot of people are actually probably still sleeping, right? What's the point of doing this? Other people who don't care about PSBB, they will go to the mall or they will go somewhere, right? But we are here today. And I'm not sure what your motivation is. Some people want to learn new skills. Other people want to get the certificate. Other people want to see Mr. Yusuf, probably big fans of Mr. Yusuf here. But whatever it is, the reason that you're here, I want to guarantee you that you're one of these people. There are 3 people in this world, right? People who make things happen. People like you who make things happen. There are people who plan to do something but never actually do it. Okay, I plan to attend that seminar, but only sign up but never attend, right? There are people who do that. There are also people who watch things happen. For example, their friends are doing something or joining competitions and you're just watching them and then give them applause, things like that. But there are also people who wonder what happened. Like suddenly, seminarnya sudah selesai, and suddenly, hey, lo iya dah, wah nggak tahu aku. They wonder what happened. Suddenly, something big happened, but they pass it by. They wonder what happened. So if we want to make sure something in our life, we try to make sure one thing. We try to be the people who make things happen, not just watch or wonder why they happen, right? So if you want to be on the right side of history, they said, you have to make sure you are one of the people who make things happen. Like Fakultas Sastra, for example, instead of watching, there are so many seminars come and go that actually conduct seminars themselves. So this is one of the reasons we are here today. And then probably you're wondering, why influence, right? As part of the topic today. Well, I will show it to you in few pictures. First of all, this robot was being interviewed by somebody, probably an employer, right? What makes you so special that you take over people's job? So basically, public speaking doesn't have to be in front of a lot of people, right? Even when you speak to two people can be a form of public speaking. So when you want to get a good job, when you want to get good scholarships, for example, usually they will require you to go through a certain type of interview. Right? And this is the smallest example of why public speaking is actually very useful. A lot of people are actually very smart, but they don't know how to get their ideas out during interview. I remember my first interview was, tell me about your last 5 books you read. And it was totally have nothing to do with teaching. And I was interviewing as a teacher. So I had to be able to speak impromptu about 5 books that I read, for example. There are so many surprises in interviews like this. The next one is, even when you're really good at writing something, you join writing competition, if you write your own thesis, for example, at some points you will be asked to present it to for people who probably do not have time to read 400 pages of your writing, right? So public speaking is really important, even when you are really good at writing, for example. And then, then as you know, now a lot of people have a job, actually professional jobs as influencer, and a lot of them actually really have good public speaking skill. So this is a really great opportunity to be an influencer right now during this age and era. Probably you've been wondering, how about parenting, right? Yes, actually public speaking, I don't have kids yet, so I don't know, but I have a lot of students from a lot of different ages. So parenting requires really good public speaking because you will need your ideas to be accepted by your children if you want them to learn something from you or lesson from you. So it won't be like masuk kuping kiri, keluar kuping kanan, or sebaliknya masuk kuping kanan, keluar kuping kiri, right? So this is a form of public speaking. And also public speaking can make you have many good friends because, you know, in friendship, you really need to share your ideas with your friends in the right way. So this is the reason why I think learning public speaking is really important, more than we thought it was. Now, first and foremost, before we learn how to speak, question is, do you have any ideas? A lot of people know the skills to do public speaking, but how about the content? How about the ideas? Do you have good ideas? Well, if you said, I don't have good ideas, you are in trouble because in my opinion, ideas are the currency of the 21st century. So whenever my students, I ask them, what is this? What do you think about this? I don't know, miss. And I said, you're in trouble. You don't say you don't know. You have to know something. If you don't know something enough, you can build from that knowledge. You have to have ideas. Otherwise, you don't have currency to achieve success in the 21st century, right? Also, after you have good ideas, is having good ideas actually enough? The answer is no. You also have to be able to present them. Okay. Now, the question is public speaking important? Well, if it was in an offline seminar, I usually ask the attendants to raise their hands. Who thinks public speaking important? Raise your hand. Who thinks it's not important? And usually they say, yes, it is important. But actually, in my opinion, it's not true. Public speaking is not that important. You know what is important? What is important actually, if you can communicate your ideas to people. And there are so many ways you can communicate your ideas to people. Public speaking is just one of them, right? But also, well, I know the most prominent one, but actually it's not the most important. The most important is there are three ways you can communicate your ideas. First, by doing it or creating something. Make your ideas materialize into three-dimensional products. That's the first level of how you communicate your idea. And second is through writing. Writing, in my opinion, is actually more important than speaking. So if you know how to write, good job. Keep doing it and then learn how to speak, right? And then the third one is through public speaking. This is actually, in my opinion, the easiest one because doing your ideas and writing your ideas requires even higher level of skill, right? Now let's see. We have three people here. On the left is Coco Chanel. Probably some of you have heard her name. She was a very famous owner of a brand, Chanel, right? But she was very quiet. She couldn't even speak with full sentences. Whenever journalists wanted to interview her, she would put her secretary to represent her. You speak, kamu aja yang ngomong. She always did that because she didn't have any public speaking skills. But did it hamper her to become successful? Obviously not, because until now, her brand has become one of the most prestigious brands in fashion industry. And the one in the middle is actually Elon Musk. Maybe some of you have heard about him. He was the one creating PayPal. And then now he's even building rocket ships to compete with NASA. But he didn't actually have public speaking skills. Whenever he was asked to speak in a seminar, he would ask for, can somebody please interview me and I will just answer their questions. This is something that he usually does. He doesn't actually present his ideas. He wants somebody else to ask him and he will answer. That is the format that he likes. And last is probably, if some of you like playing guitar, probably you know that Gibson is one of the most famous guitar brands in the world. And the founder of Gibson could not even play guitar, but his ideas materialized in terms of he actually made this instrument, created this instrument. So these are the examples of how you actually communicate your ideas through your work. Doesn't have to be through writing, doesn't have to be through speaking. So this is the example of people who actually communicate their ideas through their work. And then the second level is through writing. Writing is very important, right? If you want to put your name in history, or probably can outlast your own name or outlast your life, the way is leave something tangible for the next generation through writing. The one on the left, I don't know if you have seen his photo or his drawing, but probably you have heard his name. His name was the one inspired the continent America. So the one on the left is actually Amerigo Vespucci. Right? He was not the one discovering America. The one who's discovering America is the one in the middle, which is Columbus. Right? But then Columbus died before announcing about America, and Amerigo Vespucci was the secretary of Columbus. He was the one writing about America, but the one who led the expedition was actually Columbus. And you know what? This continent was named after Amerigo Vespucci, America, instead of Colombia. Colombia was named after Columbus. You see the difference here? Even the one who left out, who left behind writing, has more influence than those who actually did it that time. That is how important writing is. And then the one on the right is actually Marco Polo. There were so many explorers in this world throughout history, in and out. But the most famous one was actually Marco Polo, because he left beautifully written books about his expedition. Again, because of his writings. Now, do I write? I did. Not as much as I'd like. I tried to write. For example, when I was in Washington, D.C., I joined the election there, presidential election. I tried to write about it. When I saw tourist dilemma, for example, I like traveling. But I always leave behind carbon print, and I will write about it. I'll try to be as eco-friendly as possible, and blah, blah, blah. But I would like to still learning more, because I don't think I write as much as I'd like. Now, can I speak my ideas personally? I knew Mr. Yusuf from debating community. I was a debater for 5 years in Malang. I coached debate for 11 years. I also judged in debate competition. But did it make me a good public speaker? Actually not. Because a good debater is not always a good public speaker. And I learned this the hard way, because so many debaters, we are so focused on getting our points across that we don't care what type of impression we make. We forget to smile sometimes. We look like we're angry. So a good debater is not always a good speaker. So if you have a debating skill as your base skill, we still need to develop ourselves in public speaking. So a good debater is not always a good speaker or public speaker. So let's go back to the history about keys to public speaking. And you might be wondering why I put a crying child right here. I'm going to show you that actually everyone is a public speaker since they were born. We always want to attract attention to ourselves, especially if we need something, if we want to communicate something. If you remember when you were a kid, when all of us were a kid, we want something, we ask our parents, and if we don't get it, probably we'll cry. We didn't care if it was in the middle of a mall. We didn't care if it was in the middle of a restaurant. We didn't care if it was in the middle of a festival. We just cried and showed people how we felt. I don't like this. I want that thing. I don't care. I want it right now. Things like that, right? But then why, when we grow up, we stop doing this? We stop making people paying attention to ourselves. While actually our innate nature is to get attention from other people. Why? The question is why? What happened to all of us? We should get back to our childhood probably, in terms of we did not hesitate to express our ideas that time. Why suddenly we have a restraint to do that for now? And this is the photo I got when I went to Hong Kong Academy. I saw the kids were so excited. Whenever there were questions, a lot of people, me, I want to answer. And then if you're wondering, in Indonesia, it's hard to get people to do that. Guys, can you please answer? Especially online, you know, can you guys say good morning? It's so hard. That is actually a question for all of us. Why we refrain from speaking our ideas? Okay, like I've said before, we will go back to the history. The first father of public speaking was actually Aristotle, in my opinion. Like there's so many opinions about this, like who is the public speaking heroes. But in my mind, it was Aristotle, because he came up with this 3 important ideas about public speaking. First is ethos, or credibility. Second is patos, or emotion. And third is logos, or logic. Now let's find out what it is. First is ethos. Ethos is actually the hardest to do, because it really depends on who is speaking, right? If the one speaking is suddenly the president of a certain country, or in this case is Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister of UK. People did not care what he said. It's Winston Churchill, guys. Or Steve Jobs coming. Oh, well, he passed away already. Let's say Bill Gates, right, came to town. Like, hey, guys, Bill Gates is speaking. I don't care what he's going to say. I will come to see him. Right? So if the person has really good ethos or image, people almost did not care what they say because they will listen to these people. So ethos means who is speaking, right? Winston Churchill, when he was asked to do graduation speech in the University of London, he came up to the stage because he was very old that time, came up to the stage, go to the mic, and he said, never, never, never give up. And then went back to his chair. Only probably 3 or 4 seconds of speech. You know what he got? Woo! Standing ovation. Now, can you imagine if like somebody like me, who's nobody, suddenly said, never, never, never give up, and then go back to sit down, go back to my chair. No one probably will give reaction. It's because of the person speaking is actually more important in this case than what he or she said. However, this is very hard to achieve because, ethos is something that we have to build all through our lives. Second is logos. Logos means logic, or if you say something that make people say, that makes sense, right? This is also an effective way to express your ideas. For example, with the small logic or simple logic, God gave us mouths that can close, but ears that always open, never close, right? That must tell us something, for example. And then when somebody say this, in my opinion, I said, that makes sense. Yeah, why the ears never close, but mouths can open and can close. There must be something so special about ears, for example. So if you say something that makes sense or touch the logos, then you're probably getting somewhere. And the last is probably actually the most important, is patos. When good public speakers actually appeal to emotion, they try to appeal to probably people's sense of justice, of people's anger, or people's rise to action, right? Probably in Indonesia, one of the most famous, sorry, one of the most famous public speakers is probably President Sukarno that time, right? A lot of people from far and wide came to his speaking engagement. But I will give you an example here from this person. Oh.
Follow the video.
Wow. Okay. So if you can imagine, this is, in my opinion, the epitome of what pathos is. How you appeal to people's emotion. This is the reason why a leader like even what was his name? Hitler managed to, to hypnotize people and get them to agree to his ideas. This was actually Bung Tomo's speech, and he was the one mobilizing people to actually fight against that time actually the British and also leftover Japanese troops in Surabaya, and as known as the, what is it called, Pertempuran Surabaya, or the Battle of Surabaya. And a lot of people thought that he was actually fighting. No, he did not fight. When he uh, proclaimed this speech, when he actually broadcasted this speech, it was actually through radio, and he was in Malang. So he didn't actually join the battle, but he mobilized a lot of people to defend Surabaya at that time. And it happens, it works. People listened to him. People went out of their house with whatever weapons they could find, and then try to fight for the independence, right? So this is how actually pathos plays into the action of our public speaking. And this is the most efficient way, the most effective type of public speaking. And probably it reminds you of Martin Luther King Jr. as well, right? This is how you can see if your speech is successful or not, because you can encourage people to spring into actions, right? When people actually do something, get up from their chair, go out of their house, they want to start something new, this is how you measure whether your speech is successful or not, right? Whether you can propel them to do something. And for example, Martin Luther King Jr. made these people march through Washington, D.C. that time. For right now, Black Lives Matter, but that time I think racial justice, right? All right. And then, however, we have also a modern approach in public speaking. It's not always by history. First of all, is they say, be yourself. And a lot of people tell us, be yourself, be yourself. A lot of advertisements said, be yourself. A lot of t-shirts says, be yourself. But what does it mean, right? It's like a lot of people say this, that it loses the meaning because it's so popular. In my opinion, what it means is, we'll find out by doing a game, all right? Now, if you can grab a piece of paper or you can use your handphone, can you write down what is your favorite animal? And then write down 3 reasons why you like that animal. Okay? Then I will ask probably 2 people to share after this. Okay, 1 minute. Can you please write down or type up what is your favorite animal and 3 reasons why you like this animal. And I will ask 2 volunteers to share after this. Or Pak Yusuf, if no one volunteers, can you ask just point, menunjuk 1 or 2 people maybe
Yeah,
later?
okay.
But let's see if there are
Yes.
volunteers. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, we should wait maybe for 1 minute. Oke,
Yes.
Bapak dan Ibu, ada volunteer mungkin yang ingin menjawab nanti pertanyaan yang ada di slide, atau nanti akan coba kami tunjuk. Ya. Okay, nobody wants to be the volunteer. I guess I should appoint one person, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah, okay. Wait, let me choose.
maybe those who
You,
have their cameras open, so it's easier.
wait. Uh, Ibu Igusti Ayu Putu Novitasari, are you here? Ibu Igusti Ayu Putu Novitasari.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. Uh, Mbak Pipit, Ibu
Yes,
Gusti Ayu
Bu
is
Gusti
already here.
Ayu, can you share what is your favorite animal and 3 reasons why you like it?
My favorite animal is butterfly because it's beautiful and it can fly. And then, yeah, we know that it changes its shape, right? Because it has life cycle. So it's interesting for me. Thank you.
Metamorphosize,
Yes.
metamorphosis. Oh yeah, okay. So you like it because it's pretty, it can
Uh-huh.
fly, and also
Mhm.
it changes, transform
Yeah, it's transformed.
themselves. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Now one more person, please.
Pardon? Should I appoint another person?
Maybe Miss Nadia or Miss Dia.
Yeah, Miss Nadia. Miss Dia? Yeah, I think Miss Dia is ready. Okay, Miss Dia, please.
Unmute,
Okay,
Miss Dia.
you are muted. Yeah, unmute the microphone, please. Okay.
Okay. Then hi,
Okay, Miss Dia.
repeat. How are you?
Good. Miss
Mhm.
Dia.
Okay. I like cat because I think cat it's cute and then it's beautiful. That's it. Thank you.
One more. One more. 3 reasons.
3 reasons. It's adorable.
Adorable. All right. Got it. Got it, Miss Dia. Miss Dia is actually my neighbor in
Oh,
Banyuwangi.
okay.
All right. Glad to see you here, Miss Dia. All right.
Nice
So
to
guys, now that you have decided what's your favorite animal and the reasons why, well, it's probably hard to do it right now since we are online. But you need to ask somebody that you know, probably your husband, or your friends. Ask them, if I were an animal, what animal would I be, in your opinion? For example. So you ask your friends, your partner, or your students maybe, guys, if I were an animal, what type of animal do you think I am? Because actually, it shows something. Your favorite animals actually shows what type of person you want to be. If you like butterfly, because butterfly is pretty, probably you really want to be pretty, or they're adorable. You really want to be adorable. Probably you like lion because they're fierce, they're brave, they're like a leader. Probably you want to be a leader. So there's a clue in what type of animal you like. This represents what type of person you want to be. And you will probably be surprised when you find out that, well, I like cat. But then your friend said, but you look like a lion. You fierce, you're so mengerikan, you're so, roaring, blah, blah, blah. So this is the clue. There's a gap between how you see yourself and how other people see you, right? Sometimes there's a gap between who you are and who you want to be. There's also a gap between um, what you think yourself and what other people think about you. Our job is to close that gap as narrow as possible, right? Why? The question is why? Well, because there's something called potentiality and actuality. Potentiality is our talents, what actually we're capable of doing. But then there's a gap between this potential and the actuality. We need to work our way, make our way towards this actuality, right? By closing the gap. You need to know yourself, know what your talents are, know what your potentials are, know what your chances are, and then go the distance to actually make that happen. And then the modern approach 2 and 3. We're almost getting to the end. Don't. Okay, well, was I unmuted just now? Mr. Jisoo, was I unmuted just now?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
shoot.
I can hear you.
How about others?
Yeah. No. Okay, go ahead.
I mean, did I already explain just now about this?
Yes.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know why I said it. All right. And then modern approach 2 and 3. The easiest approach also to be successful, particularly in public speaking, is you need to be passionate about something, right? Just like what we've seen earlier, the examples of public speakers, their job is, or their purpose is to inspire other people, right? But to inspire other people, you need to be inspired yourself too, right? If you're not inspired, if you don't feel passionate about something, then how can you make other people passionate about it, right? You need to make their energy contagious to other people. If you don't have the energy in you, it's hard to pass it on to other people. So that's probably the logic behind this. Now, how to find a passion? First, ask yourself, what makes your heart sings? What makes you angry? When you read a certain news, for some reason you keep getting angry because of a certain type of news. Probably you need to realize probably that is your passion. Right? What makes you sad? This is also probably the reason that that is your passion. For example, me, I always sad when reading about politics, for example. Right? Always sad when politics this, politics that, angry about politics this, politics that. So probably that's my passion. Yeah. Maybe you're passionate about music. Maybe you're passionate about your parents. Maybe you're passionate about environmental issue or religion or even K-pop, right? So find out what makes you passionate because it really can work for you, your passion. Your passion can work for you in this type of way. When you're passionate about something, you just cannot stop. You will still do it even when you don't get paid for free. You will still do it even when you have to pay to do it, right? Sometimes we even have to sacrifice our money, our time, our energy just to do our passion. Now, if you think of your daily life, probably, I don't know why, whenever even I have to pay to do this, I still love it. And probably that is your passion, right? Because you get satisfaction and meanings from doing this thing. If you find out what your passion is, you just need to build your way further and further for this passion. You can write about it, you can speak about it, or you can create something about it. Right? You're passionate about fashion, for example. Maybe try kursus menjahit and then design your own clothes and start selling it or something. Or if you're passionate about fashion, start writing a blog about the celebrities' fashion or say something about it, review something about it. The third of all is be alert to ideas. Now, people say you have to be able to read. Yes, we all can read, but do we read? Of course. But in my opinion, you also have to read a lot of other things other than books. I love books. I mean, I have 2 book clubs right now. But you also have to read the situation. You have to be sensitive to your surroundings. If you are sensitive to your surrounding, then you actually feel more alive than before. So spend your time, maybe when you're on a traffic, observe people. Maybe you see poverty in the street, or you remember about your childhood, you see the news, and it moves you, makes you a certain way. Write them down, right? Have a pencil or a pen ready. Like if you were a Harry Potter, this pen or pencil will be your wand. This is your tool of magic. Whenever you have inspiration, maybe on the way to somewhere, if you remember your childhood, or you feel a certain way about news, write them down. This can be a really great idea. And these things can vanish in just 3 seconds, which is the reason why we need to record them. These are very precious, but suddenly inspiration or ideas dawn upon you, right? Be alert of ideas. So after you write down all of your ideas, you need to organize them, right? I gave a talk last night. Oh no, was it last night? Oh, on Thursday night about weaving your ideas. So your ideas will be weaved, dianyam, right, into strains of thoughts. So language is a tool to make logical connection. You have to arrange these words and then present it to other people. And people can see your ideas. Arrange them in a certain way, seperti dianyam. So if you read a book, right, a lot of ideas there, you can even rearrange certain ideas from the book and make it yourself, right? Compare it with your background knowledge, with your personal experience. You can totally make something old become new by adding your own touch with it. That is how you organize your ideas. And also, there's no way around it but to practice and practice and practice. And after that, you learn new or more techniques. Now, when you practice, try to find a community, right? If you're in university, right? If you're in university, you can join probably debate club. You can join a conversation club where you can actually practice your public speaking skills. Or you can join even takmir masjid, but you need to be given a chance to isi kultum, kuliah 7 menit, for example. So take turns, kuliah 7 menit, blah, blah, blah. But then the point is you practice how to do public speaking, right? And then there are people you can ask about, how do you think it was? Any feedback? Kurang apa ya tadi ya? Apa ini ya? Itu ya? And then in my opinion, in my case, I joined an organization called Toastmasters. This is my public speaking club that I joined for the last 10 years. And that is actually it. And to sum up, we need to find our ideas, because ideas are the currency of the 21st century. And also with ideas, we can influence people. We can influence people to accept us to a certain position. Can be a job, can be a public office, can be certain scholarship. We need to influence people with our ideas so they know what we have. We know what we got, right? Now, if you find it hard to get ideas, you need to find them. You actually have to actively search for ideas. You can enrich your knowledge. You can also find your passions, right? After you find these ideas and then finding your passions, you need to communicate them to other people. Don't just keep it to yourself. If you have a lot of knowledge about something, don't keep it to yourself. Probably other people need them right now, need to hear them, right? Communicate them. You can communicate them by working, producing 3-dimensional products. You can communicate them through writing. producing maybe opinion piece for Jawa Post or the Jakarta Post or even campus journal, campus, what is it called? Jurnal kampus, or what is the mahasiswa usually have it? Majalah dinding or something. Usually majalah dinding in my era. I think this era is totally different. Yeah. Or blog. Yeah. Or you can also speak. Try to maybe use YouTube videos. Speak up what your mind, speak your mind, things like that. And then keep practicing because there's always room for improvement. There's no one is too good to actually get feedback. Okay, so I think that is it. And I hope we can all learn together to expand our influence through public speaking. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Pipit. Okay. We have got several questions from the participants through the WhatsApp group and YouTube, and I hope some of you on Zoom will also ask questions here, so you can speak directly to Miss Pipit. Okay. Let me read the question from WhatsApp group first. The, the first question is, okay, the first person to ask, she has got two questions. How to prepare for tough questions? What should I do if I cannot answer the questions given by the audience? Uh,
How to
how to
answer, sorry?
prepare how to prepare for tough questions? Tough questions?
Self question.
Yeah, no, how to prepare for like difficult questions?
Difficult question.
Yes, okay, difficult
Okay, how to
questions.
answer difficult question. All right, thank you.
Yeah, and then what
And
should
then,
I do if I cannot answer the questions given by the audience?
okay. right now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
answer this question now.
Good
Then we'll
question.
have
All right,
another
let me tell
question
that.
later.
So should I answer this one first, or do you want to ask on more questions, Mr. Yusuf? This one first?
Pardon?
Do you want me to
No. We
answer
have
this
got
one
some.
first?
We have got. Okay. Let me read the first three questions.
Yeah.
And then the second question is from Nadia. She's from Saudi Arabia. Nadia, are you here? I think I show you. I show you here. Just now, if you're here, you can speak
Yeah,
directly. Are you here, Nadia? Okay. Yeah. Can you ask the questions directly?
Oh, Nadia.
boleh boleh kan pakai bahasa Indonesia?
Boleh, silakan.
Yeah, sure.
Oke. Mau nanya nih, public speaking ini apa sih yang sering diperhatikan? Apakah grammar atau ada yang lain?
Oke. Terima kasih. Itu dulu Pak Yusuf.
Ya, kemudian
Oh,
ada
itu ada yang
satu.
Ibu my
ada yang-
computer raise her hand.
Ibu my computer, raise your hand. Sebentar. My computer. Ibu my computer. Oke, silakan bertanya langsung Ibu. Ini Ibu atau Bapak? I don't know.
Ibu.
Ibu my computer.
Iya, itu yang pakai kameranya hidup.
Oh, oke. Oh, kameranya hidup.
Iya.
Oh, wait. I cannot see her. Oh, ya, oke. Ibu, silakan Ibu.
Unmute dulu, Bu.
Wait. Unmute dulu.
Okay. First, I'm one of teachers, and then sometimes I have difficulties in giving a trick how to make my student interest when I give them explanations, because sometimes even though I have a loud voice, they are not interesting to my explanation. So my question is there any trick for us as a teacher to make my little kids students to be interest and focus to our explanations?
What do
And
you teach?
then my
What do you teach them?
in MTS,
Yeah, I mean, what subject do you teach?
in English.
English, okay.
Okay. And then my second question is it right to use bahasa daerah to make them understand or interest with our explanation? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ibu. Can you introduce yourself, or how would you like to be
Yeah.
addressed?
My name is
Ibu.
Dwi.
Okay, Ibu Dwi. Thank you,
Okay.
Ibu Dwi.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Yeah.
Ms. Ipit, I think we have got three questions. You can answer the three questions first, and then we'll have another
Okay.
session after this.
So I will answer it from Bu Dui's questions first because that's the freshest. We just heard it just now, right?
Okay.
So the
Okay.
first question was how to make students interested in giving when we give explanation, right? Now, I happen to ask about what subject Bu Dwi was teaching, and it happens to be English. In my opinion, Bu Dwi, we have to connect the subject we teach to our students' lives. He has to be relevant to uh, themselves. For example, in English, we have the freedom to choose what type of text we want to give them, right? We can choose what type of subject we want to teach them, right? So probably if a lot of your students are interested in K-pop, for example, try to find a text about the biography of Lee Min Ho or something, right? So it is related to their lives. Or try to find something that is probably popular right now, TikTok. You want to, teach about timeline or history of something, or what is the chronological order, right? The timeline of how TikTok was founded. It was founded in 2003, and then suddenly blah 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 blah, blah, or what's the whole history of Twitter? Something that probably they have a background knowledge about. I find it very interesting. I myself also teach Bahasa Indonesia, but my students are expat students. It's really hard also to get them interested because they will feel like I have Russian student or Japanese students. Why do I have to learn Bahasa? Why? I'm not interested. I I can just study English and I can talk with anyone, for example. Right? But if I can make the lesson connected to their lives, right, then automatically, naturally, they will be interested. So it's not a problem whether our voice is loud enough. It's a problem about whether the content is actually interesting. And then, of course, you as a person, for me, I also try to be as lively as possible when I speak. Because if we think that, okay, they're the one who need the scores, not me, right? Mereka yang butuh nilainya, bukan aku, bukan saya. We don't try hard enough. But if we are lively and try to make it connected to their lives, I'm pretty sure they can be interested. So I'm also a teacher, Bu, so I know your pain. There are bad days, sometimes we cannot avoid that.
Yeah.
And also, is it right to use bahasa daerah to make them understand? Actually, yes. I actually support bahasa daerah. I told my expat students that there's no bahasa native speaker in Indonesia. There's no Indonesian language native speaker in Indonesia. Usually, their first language is their bahasa daerah, right? And then bahasa Indonesia is actually our second language. So if I have to count fast, I'll do it in Japanese. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I really have to count fast, then I know, actually my first language is Japanese, not Bahasa. So it's really good for us to explain something in Bahasa Daerah because our goal is to get them understand. If bahasa daerah is actually their first language, then why not? Is it right? But of course, we need to practice as much as we can with English. But when it comes to technical terms, there's we really have to make them understand. If no other alternatives, then use bahasa daerah is fine. The next question was from Miss Dia. I think public speaking is still difficult. Sometimes we are nervous and how to cope it. Actually, it's related to what I said earlier. All of us are born public speakers. Like when we were a kid, we try to attract people's attention to us through crying, to shouting. And I think as we get older, we become self-conscious to what people think, right? We're so afraid of, oh, they will think of me as sombong or pamer, or they will think of me as sok pintar, or they think of me as apa namanya, kepedean or something. So all of these bad things, our culturally built reservations, I would say, culturally built reservations, it makes us afraid to do public speaking. So in my opinion, we need to trailblaze it. Harus terus dicoba, dan dicoba. Gimana pun caranya memang harus latihan. Gak bisa kita tiba-tiba reading about books how to do public speaking and then wake up in the morning suddenly, oh, the next day we will be Barack Obama. Really good at public speaking. Of course not. He has to keep practicing. And then remember, our nature is to attract people's attention. That is our nature since we were a child. So let's go back to our nature that time, before we became afraid. Karena all of these years of, public shaping our opinion, I would say, we sometimes forget about our true nature. Remember, our true nature is to attract attention and speak our mind. And we try to get back to that. The next one is, in public speaking, is grammar important? No. Grammar is something we pick up along the way. Grammar is not that important. If Nadia is mahasiswa, you can try to join debate competition. You see a lot of debaters, their English are terrible. Sometimes when they explain something in the middle of the sentence, they put bahasa word in it. Actually, ladies and gentlemen, it's not China who is to blame. It's supposed to be America, the one patut dicurigai, ladies and gentlemen. Because they don't care about grammar. They don't care about, sometimes they cannot find words, the proper words to it. The problem is, this is something you can pick up along the way, right? So you do not learn grammar first and then speak. No, you try to speak first and then along the way you will pick up grammar, right? Grammar is something that we don't learn in vacuum. Me as an English teacher in the past, we were taught about that. We do not acquire or learn grammar in a vacuum. We will pick them up along the way. Okay, Nadia? So don't be afraid to speak even still learning about grammar. All right, the next one is how to answer difficult questions and if you don't know the answer to them. Well, if the question is related to your opinion, I'm pretty sure you have an opinion. Right? Difficult answer is, of course, depends on what type of question. If the question is, Pipit, how do we convert Celsius into Fahrenheit? I don't know the answer. Well, this is different because this is actually testing our knowledge, right? But if you ask for my opinion, for example, Pipit, which one do you prefer, Celsius or Fahrenheit? And in my opinion, I would prefer Celsius because 0 degrees as the base of Celsius is actually simpler than Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit start from 45 or something, Starting from 45 is a lot more complicated than starting from 0. I have my opinion about something. If the question is related to your opinion, make sure you answer them because you will always have an opinion. You can try to think of what does it remind me of, for example? Or how does it make me feel, right? Did I experience this before? If yes, what was that experience? But usually, if I'm stuck at something, I always ask myself, what does it remind me of? How does it make me feel when I hear that? And then just express it. Start from there. Okay? So I think that is how you probably can answer difficult question. Okay, Pak Yusuf.
Okay, Mr. Pitt, we have got uh, more questions. Maybe I will take the question from JC and Miss Jessie and Pak Taufik first. Maybe Jessie first. Miss Jessie, are you here? Jessie Marpau. Yeah,
Jessie, do you want to read your own question while practicing
yeah,
public speaking?
yes. Jessie, will you read your own question? Hello.
Okay, I think it's fine, probably. Or Mr.
Yeah,
Pak
yeah,
Taufik,
okay.
maybe?
Yeah, Pak Taufik first. Pak Taufik, are you here? Pak Taufik? Pak Taufik, will you read your own question? Hello, Pak Taufik. Yeah, Pak Taufik. Okay.
Read it.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Can we
heard
have
him.
your? Yeah. Can you
Okay,
speak
I
louder?
want. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's clear.
I'm Mr. Taufik. I'm also an English teacher. Is my voice clear?
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
We
yes.
can hear you.
Yeah. I'm an English teacher from. Yeah, I'm an English teacher of vocation in. I want to ask about the importance of
Facial
facial
expression.
to our training because full expression I'm okay.
Yeah. I think it's about facial expression. Stupid.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Pak Taufik. Let me come back to Miss Jessie.
Okay,
Are you
welcome.
here? Miss Jessie?
I can also answer Miss
Yeah,
Jessie's
okay.
question
Yeah,
first
yeah,
while
okay.
waiting for her.
Yeah,
All right. So
yeah,
how do
okay.
we overcome
Okay.
a tendency to say and ah? Okay. First of all, we need to understand why we produce this and ah. This is called fillers. Right? Fillers. Okay, I put it in the chat. Fillers means this is a type of sound, just now I made it, type of sound when you're thinking, basically. So people have fillers in terms of they also have fillers in terms of words. Sometimes I saw the other day in Kepolisian Republik Indonesia make an announcement about siapa itu yang buronan kemarin itu, Bang Bali itu, Chandra. Ya, Chandra ya.
Chandra, yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
so they have
yeah.
a PR of Kepolisian Republik Indonesia, high position, and then doing the apa namanya conference press deh. Dia bilang, ya, apa itu? Nah, apa itu? Nah, apa itu?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
even the even the PR of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Kepolisian Republik Indonesia has fillers, and the fillers
Like,
has
what is that?
happen to be apa
Yeah,
itu.
yeah.
So me,
Okay.
I learned public speaking for several years. It makes me feel like so disturbing, yeah, to have that kind of filler. Well, in my public speaking club, we call it counter. So like I said before, I joined Toastmasters the last 10 years. We have somebody who can count our grammar mistakes, somebody who can count our sounds, right? Maybe or repetitions. And then I mean,
Yeah.
or long pauses, something like that. So this has to be trained over and over again. There's no, what is it called? There's no obat singkat ya. There's no shortcut to solve this problem. So we really have to what is it called? Minimize it. But then the easiest way to do it is actually by practicing. The reason why we have a lot of and because of we need to think what to say next. If you already plan what to say, then it will be fewer chances or smaller chances for you to say and because you already know what you're going to say. If I don't know what I'm going to say, for example, today my topic is about this because I was still thinking what to say next. If I knew what I was going to say, I didn't have to say Today my topic is about expanding your influence by public speaking or through public speaking. So try to know what you're talking about. If you are still like me or still learning, try to plan what you're going to say. And this will minimize your and fillers, right? And then how to train facial expression. Okay, facial expression, actually, Pak Taufik, I don't believe in facial expression training. But I think it's supposed to be natural. So if Pak Taufik feel a certain way, try to express it, Pak Taufik. So if you are excited about something, try to express it with your face, right? Or if you cannot express it with your face, try with your voice first. So there's something called vocal variety when you want to say, with a certain amplitude with your voice. Or you can try to make a conversation. For example, you're teaching English, try to make a conversation. Conversation always has a rhythm, right? Of course, hey, apa kabar? Hey, baik. Ngapain aja nih selama ini? Gitu. Kok lama nggak kelihatan? It has a rhythm. In a normal conversation, people have rhythm in their speaking and their face too. So I think try to get the emotion out of you. They say make the emotion flow out of you. Seperti air mengalir keluar dari diri kita, the emotion. And then, but I also know a comedian in my Toastmasters organization. He is a champion in humorous speech contest, but his face was totally flat. But it was funny because his face was flat. So there's also art about that. So if you say something funny, but totally with straight face, that can also be very interesting. So kalau ternyata nggak punya ekspresi yang lucu, nggak apa-apa, kontennya aja yang dibuat lucu. So I think that is the way to do it. So try to get the emotion out of you, let it flow out of you like water. If you cannot, try to make the content funny. With flat face is fine, but the content is funny. And then the last one is try to incorporate conversation in your speech, because conversation will automatically have rhythm, right? So I think that is one from Pataf.
Yeah. Okay. We've got one more question. Maybe it might be the last question from Miss Camila. Are you here? Yeah. Okay. Uh,
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Yes, please, Miss Camila.
Okay, thank you. Hello, Mbak Pipit. My name is Kamila Nazira Hudaya from Medan State University. So my question is, in this current of COVID-19 pandemic, our activities always hampered, and so that we doing these activities virtually or online. So could you give the tips for us on how we doing this public speaking virtually? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Camila. Hey, Camila, I used to live in Medan for 3 years. I used to live in Simalingkar. Yes. All right. So should I answer it right away, Mr. Yusuf?
Yes. We actually still have one more question, but let me just read the question in order to make it short.
All right.
Okay. Which is more important in public speaking, content or delivery? Uh,
Wow.
yeah, and why?
Wow.
Yeah,
Content or
content
delivery?
versus delivery. Yeah.
Hmm. All right.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you. That's actually quite hard. Okay, Camila's question about public
Wait,
speaking.
wait, Miss Pipit. Okay. We still have one more question on
Oh,
YouTube.
one more?
Maybe
Okay.
the last one. I think if we okay, wait. Let me read the question from YouTube.
Yeah.
Miss Pipit, implicitly you point out the importance of understanding ourselves first. Then we can do anything. In your opinion, how can we deal with self-doubt? Essentially, what is your core value?
How do
Can you get the
we
question?
self-doubt?
Now, how can we deal with our own with self-doubt?
Self-doubt, yeah. Self-doubt.
Yeah, self-doubt.
Deal with our
Yes,
self-doubt. Wow.
yes. What is your core value? Okay,
Self-doubt.
three questions. I thought we would only have one more questions, but we had now we have three. It's okay.
Can I answer about self-doubt first?
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So thank you about the question about self-doubt. Yes, we do need to understand ourselves. We need to kill the self-doubt. But to be honest with you, killing or dealing with our self-doubt is a question, is a quest for a lifetime. I've seen a lot of people who have learned a lot, but they still feel like they're not good enough. And it can be double-edged sword, can be pisau bermata dua. In one hand, somebody who is actually good but feel like they're not good enough, they will keep on learning. They will keep on learning and learning. That's the good part of this. But also, if can bring bad impact too. The bad impact is, of course, you will feel inferior to actually do something. So, yeah, that's the double-edged sword. Recently, I got a request to write an article, and I keep postponing. No, I don't want to write an article. I'm not good enough. But you have read a lot of books, Vipid. My friends kind of encouraged me to do it. They said I have too much input, no output. The expression. You get too much input, reading, or learning, but no output, no result. So yeah, I think that is a quest for a lifetime when we self-doubt. So if you self-doubt is good because you keep on learning, but try to balance it with producing something too. When we produce something, we get the feedback from other people, right? For example, even writing long status on Facebook, try to see people's feedback. Do people agree with you? Do you make them uncomfortable? Do you make them angry? Do you make them passionate? Do you make them want to get up and do something? Probably that is your talent. So try to balance between your input and your output. So after reading something, try to produce something. After learning something, try to produce something. After going to this seminar, try to make a YouTube video. That's the only way you can kill yourself down. And remember, that's a quest for a lifetime. So which one is more important, content or delivery? Wow. Well, that depends. Do you like Donald Trump or not? Which one do you like better? Donald Trump or Barack Obama? For example. If you realize, guys, the content of Donald Trump's speech is always very, very elementary, right? But the way he speak it as if he know what he was talking about. But in my opinion, it doesn't last. It doesn't last. Although you have good delivery, and people will realize that, no, actually that doesn't make sense. Ya, orangnya meyakinkan, ngomongnya meyakinkan. Ketika dipikir-pikir, kayak nggak masuk akal deh. Apa sih maksudnya? Like that. So if you really have to choose between content and delivery, choose content. Content is always more important. What is inside is more important than what is outside. But you can also be like Barack Obama, good content and good delivery too. You really make me have to choose one content. And then next one is, what was the next one, Pak, tadi? Oh, in the chat box,
Camilla?
Yeah, Camila. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Public speaking virtually. Okay. I think we can learn a lot from radio announcer for public speaking virtually. If you can imagine, guys, radio announcer, people who speak in the radio, they have to grab your attention through voice only. Can you imagine that? That is so hard. I actually admire radio announcer if they can make us tune in for a long time with their voice, right? If you realize advertisement or iklan in radio is actually different from iklan on TV. On TV, you can get the animation, you can get the image, right? But on radio, they try to exaggerate things, right? Hai, aduh, kepalaku, apa tanganku sakit, gimana ini? Right. Ada apa, Bu? Ada apa? Ini Pak, kepala saya sakit. They try to exaggerate things from their tone. So I think that's how we can offset or make up for the missing three-dimensional or direct interaction. In direct interaction, we can see them in three-dimensionally, right? In front of us, we can see their vivid expression. We can hear their voice without cables, without internet. But we need to make up to that. That's why probably need to be more excited, more expressive through online meeting. And if you can, and actually online meeting is really nice because you can have contekan without people knowing. Actually, a lot of my friends who usually public speaker, when they speak in front of people without online, in offline meeting, they're not allowed to have contekan, right? They have to look professional without contekan and speaking fluently. But in public speaking and online, you can put your contekan or your cheat sheet on the screen. No one knows. So I think we can take advantage of the online setting for public speaking. And good luck, Camila. I miss Medan though.
Okay, thank you, Miss. Thank you
No
for your
problem.
answer.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Bapak dan Ibu sekalian, I think that's all. We actually still have more questions on WhatsApp, but I think we should end this session because it's almost 12 o'clock. Maybe Mr. Pitt has to do another thing. Okay. Maybe one thing that we see actually I actually have some ideas in mind about the conclusions of our today's discussion. But one thing that I remember the most is we cannot be a public speaker by reading a book on how to speak in public. What we do now is to practice. We have to practice often in order to be a good public speaker. Yeah, maybe public speakers are not born, maybe. Yeah. Maybe public speakers are not born, they are made. Mr. Pitt, would you like to give a closing remark? Uh,
Wait, I was disconnected just now.
oh, yeah, okay. Okay, would you like to give a closing remark? Okay.
Sorry. Yusuf, are you there? I just got disconnected just now.
Yes. Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. Would you like to give the closing remark, Mr. Pitt?
Thank you. Well, thankfully the unstable connection happened after presentation. So I'm happy
Yeah.
that it didn't happen in the middle. All right. So thank you so much everyone for coming here. And I know it's Saturday, it's supposed to be your holiday, and you decided to come here, and then that makes me feel like you are part of the people who actually make things happen. So since you're already here and then make things happen, why don't you make things happen for yourself? Try to produce something from this meeting. So let's think of this as an input and try to have output from this meeting. You can start probably searching for public speaking community. Maybe if you're mahasiswa or mahasiswi, you can start joining debate community or English conversation club, or try to, or writing club, or anything that can make you help you express your ideas to people, right? Express your ideas. Remember, you can do it producing something three-dimensionally. You can also write something, right? Express your ideas, also speak about it. So I hope you can do one of this and choose which one is the best for you. Thank you.
Ya, Oke. Thank you Mr. Pete for your time, Bapak dan Ibu. Terima kasih atas kehadirannya. And please don't forget to attend our next seminar on September 30. It will be about translation. Mbak
Should
Pipit,
we take group photo, Pak Yusuf?
yep. Okay. Bapak dan Ibu, let's take a group photo. Please turn on your camera and then I'll try to capture the screen. Okay. Oh, wait. Okay.
Halo Ibu by computer.
Okay. Wait. Wait. One, two, three. Okay. Wait. Let me save it first. Wait. The next one. Next page. Okay. Wait. Yeah. Okay. Then, Mr. Pitt, thank you so much for your time. Sorry for disturbing your weekend.
No
Yeah.
problem. Glad to do it.
Okay. See you, Bapak dan Ibu. See you soon. Maybe in our next seminar. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Waalaikumsalam. See you next time,
Thank you,
everyone.
See
Pipit.
you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
But do you want to share my PPT?
Oh,
Yeah, sure.
yeah.
I'll put
I
it in the
just got
chat
the line.
box.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
Oh,
Sambil lalu mungkin Bapak Ibu bisa mengisi daftar hadir untuk sertifikat. Link ke sertifikat ada di chat box dan di YouTube juga sudah kami sertakan.
sebentar. Internetnya.
Yep, okay. Patiently waiting.
Okay.
Okay. Ms. Nina has given the link. Okay. Exactly the same link. Thank you. Ya, Bapak dan
Yes.
Ibu, the link is
Sampai
already in
jumpa.
the chat box. If you want to download the presentation file, please go to the link sent by Miss Repeat and Miss Nina in the chat box. Thank you once again, Miss Repeat. See you soon.
Sampai
If you
jumpa. Terima
happen to
kasih.
go to Banyuwangi, please drop by whenever you are around.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. See you
Bye-bye.
soon. Bye-bye.
Ini waktu ramah tamah nggak nih?
Ya, Ibu My Computer. Mr. Yusuf, Pak Warik Satu, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure,
Glad to
sir.
have you here. Sorry for asking you to deliver a speech.
Saya
Last
dapat
minute.
julukan Ibu My Computer nih.
Ini ada Bu Sufil ini. Halo Bu Sufil, apa kabar Ibu?
I'm not Bu Sufil, sir.
No, ada Bu
No,
Sufil.
Bu Sufil is also
ya?
here. Bu Sufil, Bapak dan Ibu yang lain from Medan, from.
Oh
We
ya.
also have an audience from Saudi Arabia. Ahlan wa sahlan. Ahlan wa sahlan fi hudurikum.
Nah ini Ibu nih dari Saudi nih, Bu Nina.
No, we have somebody from Saudi, we have somebody from Medan, from all over the world. Mischievous power. Okay, thank you. I'll end the meeting. See you soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Time to go sleep. Take a nap.